the James Collins in that league, it was them that were doing the recruitment. So I think that helped of having a base of knowing. But yeah,
is he still there?
He's still there. Yep, still there currently. Still there as the first team coach. And listen, it's a big task in this season. Although they're still Sheffield Wednesday, a massive club, particularly at that level, I think, like us at Derby, signing good players is one thing. Trying to get a whole 15, 16 integrated into a squad and to get it going so quickly is a really difficult thing.
You see, for me, this whole sustainability thing, and obviously we've got these new cost control protocols coming in and squad to turnover ratios that have come in. So just for anybody that's missed it, the profit sustainability rules have been scrapped, replaced by squad cost rules. And the whole aim is to try and make the league less reliant on owner funds coming in. Because the numbers currently are, in the Championship, your average club is dependent on 32 million of owners' funds a season. In League One, 8.3, and even in League Two, 2.3. So I'm going to keep banging the realism drum for exactly what you've just said. Can we really go from the disaster on the field that was last season, the near end of the football club, to expecting to be one of the promotion contenders? They will want to be, but surely a base has to be laid, doesn't it?
Do you know what? I think Sheffield Wednesday fans will just be happy to have their club. Similar to the Derby fans. They were just delighted to have their club, delighted to be able to turn out to watch their club every single week. It'll only be the moments where they start doing really well that the expectation will come, because you have got good players on the pitch. You've got the likes of the hero Barry Bannon coming back to your football club. So there's going to be a time when, yes, we're not going to be too carried away. However, if they are doing well and they're in and amongst it, there's going to be an expectation, simply because, not because of it being Sheffield Wednesday the badge, because of what you see on the pitch. And I think that's just a natural fan thing to do.
And do you know what? In amongst all these, booms and busts and drama around clubs, and I mean this in the most respectful way, Nigel Clough just keeps Mansfield ticking along, and probably way above where they should be. They've taken the lead this afternoon against Doncaster. Reece Oates has got that goal. They're a goal up, and they just get on.
Unhappy, and to use the Richie Wellens analogy, he's found a club where it works for him. He knows what he wants.
And it's close to home.
Well,
that makes a difference to him.
It makes a difference to a lot of people.
We're allowed to, aren't we? We're allowed to pick a quality of life that works for us.
100%.
If he can deliver football results and the promotion 2 seasons ago and all the rest of it.
Carl Wootton got a goal for Stockport in the League Cup last week. He's got his first league goal of the season, and they are off to a flyer under Jimmy McNulty at Plymouth. They lead by 2-0. Harrogate relegated to the National League, lead at Wealdstone by 1-0. Huddersfield are down to 10 in their game against AFC Wimbledon. Barley Mumba has been sent off, straight red card. They're 2-0 up, but they're down to 10. Accrington have just equalised at home to Colchester in League Two. Charlie Caton has got that. Cheltenham have taken the lead against Alex Bruce's Rotherham. Charlie McCann with the goal there. And also in League Two at York, Nick Hatton.
York City 0, Bristol Rovers 1, completely against the run of play. York City have had 88% possession in the first 30 minutes or so. They've created 3 decent chances, but they've been done on the counter-attack. Ball down the left-hand side. Fabrizio came into the box, ball across, and there was Clinton Mola to fire home from 12 yards out. Goalkeeper Mainali got to handle it, but couldn't stop it going into the back of the net. York City 0, Bristol Rovers 1.
So half an hour into our 3 o'clock games. Earlier, Bolton beat Preston 2-1 in the Championship. In the 3 o'clocks, Bristol City 0, Millwall 0, Charlton 0, Derby 1, Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln 1, Norwich 0, West Brom 0, Stoke 1, Swansea 1, and our Portsmouth still 1-0 up at home to QPR. Chris.
They are, and actually they've had a chance to make it 2-0. Abu Kamara on his second debut, setting Segacic through. There was a recovery run from a Queen's Park Rangers defender to disrupt his shot. And by the way, we've had a hydration break here as well. Cameron doesn't have any NFL players or Game of Thrones characters. It's a bit of a shame, isn't it?
Solihull Moors 0, Boston 1 in the National League. Where am I going? Somebody told me and then I forgot. Middlesbrough, there we go. John.
Yes, a brilliant save. There's still Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln City 1 because of George Wickens, the Lincoln City goalkeeper. Brilliant one-handed save. It was a Lancashire header at the back post from close range, and somehow Wickens clawed it away. And they deserve to be leading Lincoln City yet again. Just before that, another long throw caused problems for Middlesbrough. They're looking so sharp, so confident. The team that was promoted as champions from League One. Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln City 1.
Let's go back to Ashton Gate. Laura Kenyon.
Speaking of hydration breaks, one here too. 26 degrees at Ashton Gate. Wasn't too popular with the crowd. Plenty of boos as the play was stopped. And it is a bit of a deadlock here. No one able to find the breakthrough. Don Ballard, the new Bristol City striker, League One's top scorer last season, looking to make his mark. A strike outside the box, fired with power and pace, but wide of the target. And we remain here. Bristol City 0, Millwall 0.
Are they playing as a two then, Ballard and Tolai, or is one behind the other, or is one a bit more out wide?
Yeah, Ballard is playing slightly behind Tolai, and what I would say, I know it was a subject of conversation in the studio earlier, they're playing really well together, linking up well, flicking it on and off to each other, and what I would say, that partnership seems to be developing in these early stages. We shall see.
We said there were some chances at Fratton Park. Now there's been another goal. Chris Wise.
But this one's for Queen's Park Rangers. Portsmouth 1, QPR 1. The ball not cleared away effectively by that Pompey defence, and he came across the edge of the 6-yard box. He actually almost trickled in the direction of Ilias Chair, who was there a few yards out to get a feather-like touch on the ball to send it past Nico Schmidt, the Portsmouth goalkeeper, in front of those visiting QPR fans in the Milton end, over to my right-hand side, and QPR level it up, one apiece.
Still waiting for the opening goal at Carrow Road. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, very much so, Mark. 11 minutes to play in the first half. Norwich 0, West Brom 0. After Norwich a flying opening 10 minutes, it's gone rather flat. They did have a half chance about 20 or so minutes ago. 3 players were involved. Kellen Fisher with a left-footed shot from the edge of the area is a comfortable save by Max O'Leary, the West Brom goalkeeper. The visitors at the moment offering nothing going forward. Norwich 0, West Brom 0.
Into League One, Cambridge have just doubled their lead at home to Wigan. Lewis Apare has got that 10 minutes before half-time. Cambridge 2, Wigan 0. Do you know what? We talk about stability and momentum. They have it.
Yep.
Don't they? They did with Mark Bonner and Neil Harris. And
Yeah, well, bringing Mark Bonner back to be your director of football was a masterstroke, really, simply because, you know, sometimes bringing somebody back that's been the manager, you don't know how it's all going to go. You know, if you're Neil Harris, what's he going to be like? Is he going to micromanage me? You don't really know, but it's been a relationship that's worked really well. Neil Harris knows.
Huddersfield lead AFC Wimbledon by 2 goals still, but they are down to 10. Leyton Orient 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield 1, Doncaster 0, and Stockport a 2-0 up at Tom Cleverley's Plymouth. Let's go back to that game at Oakwell. Molly Stevens.
Goalless here, and the reason why is Shamal George, the Bromley keeper. He's been peppered with shots in the last 10-15 minutes, but he's denied defender Ali Kay an opener for Barnsley on numerous occasions. The latest a save from his shot from 20 yards, and then moments later he stops Cameron McGeehan's header from a Patrick Kelly cross. Barnsley are full of energy. The pace to this game is absolutely brilliant. I'm not quite sure how they'll keep it up in the second half, but it's Barnsley 0, Bromley 0.
Fleetwood have taken the lead at Chesterfield in League 2, and also in League 2, Tranmere, who are now under Darryl Clark's management, have taken the lead at home to Shrewsbury. Jordan Davis with that goal, that's his second of the season, also got one in the League Cup. Red card at Ashton Gate. Laura.
and it's Bristol City who are down to 10 men. Adam Randall shown a second yellow for a fairly innocuous challenge, which means it's a big challenge in the second half of Bristol City as well. We're 37 minutes into the first half, and Millwall had such a great season, didn't they, last season? Just a point off automatic promotion. They haven't found a breakthrough here today. It's Bristol City 0, Millwall 0, but Bristol City down to 10 men.
There's just noises of men grunting at the moment. Go on, explain it.
I mean, I could hardly see it.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's the pull rule as such. You're meant to be given a yellow card if you are to tug somebody back. I don't know what his first yellow card was for. However, for that to be a sending off, it wasn't a clear outstretched arm. It was more of a coming together, kind of had his hands around his hips and kind of turned him round a little bit. But he's been sent off, so Bristol City are going to have to.
Is that the directive if you pull someone back?
Well, it's meant to be. The amount of times I've seen people pulled back and it's not been given, and other times refs are straight on it. So it just depends on the ref on the day, and he said that that was a.
Can't depend on the ref on the day, can it? It's got to be consistent.
Well, yeah, if only.
Grimsby lead Exeter by a goal to 0. Also in League Two, Harvey Rogers has got that scored last week as well, so he's got 2 for the season. We will next go to Charlton. Adam Cotton.
Charlton 0, Derby 1. Just as I was thinking, Mark, that the hydration break had taken the tempo out of the game, Charlton fashioned an opening, their best of the game so far. Danny McNamara with a low shot on the half volley, really, and it was turned round by the outstretched leg of Charlie Taylor, making his league debut for Derby today. So that's Sam Smodick's goal, an excellent finish. Still has Derby ahead here by 1 goal to 0.
You may have heard a groan from someone in the studio there. John Bennett will be able to explain why.
Yeah, it's because Middlesbrough very, very close to being level. They should be level, really. Still Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln City 1, but across from the left-hand side, across the 6-yard box, just needed a touch from someone to put it into the back of the net. Will Lancashire came very close to providing that touch and getting his second goal in his first 2 games for Middlesbrough. But in the end, he couldn't, and it was scrambled away by Lincoln City, who are still looking very, very confident. Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln City 1.
When the odds are so much against Lincoln City, can you almost play the free hit card? Go out there with total freedom. You've nothing to lose. Everybody is writing us off. This will be a great adventure because those guys are playing with great swagger.
Yeah, I feel you can, but I think it's just coupled with the expectation on Middlesbrough in that first game. So your first game to be at Middlesbrough, you're not even at home, the pressure's all on them. And what we always used to say as a team, when you're a whole city and you're playing against an Arsenal, a Chelsea, a Man City or something like that, keep them quiet the first 20 minutes and then the fans will start to turn. Unfortunately, they've not only kept them quiet, they've silenced them even more with the goal. So listen, they're a team that last year were very good at keeping clean sheets and protecting a lead. So yeah, it's not going to be easy for us to get back into this.
But also, whilst I take Clem's point on the expectation, I think internally they do have some expectation.
Yeah, well, listen, it's a really interesting dynamic. I still don't understand the dynamic of 2 managers. Just me being a former player.
Well, I noticed the split here is that Tom Shaw is the one coming forward. I haven't seen Chris Cohen out there.
Exactly.
I don't know whether he's sitting up top with a headpiece in, a microphone on, talking down or not.
But I was with the Lincoln chief exec in the last 10 days or so, and I'll come back to that in a second because it's just got worse for Bristol City. Laura.
It has. Josh Coburn has given Millwall the lead, bundled in across from this near side, and Alex Neil's side, they did the league double over Bristol City last season, had a great away record last season. They get the advantage here against 10-man Bristol City. It's Bristol City 0, Millwall 1.
And it's just got worse for Portsmouth as well, Chris.
Yeah, it has. How quickly has this game changed? Portsmouth 1, Queen's Park Rangers 2 QPR goals in 7 minutes. Koki Sato with the latest of them, chair-setting Sato moving. He scored. You wondered whether the chance had gone. And when he did eventually get his shot away, it deflected off one of the 2 Portsmouth players that were surrounding him, past Nico Schmidt, who could do nothing. And QPR lead, Pompey 1, QPR 2.
National League, Wilson equalised against Harrogate as well. So it's Wilson 1, Harrogate 1. So the Lincoln chief has ever said to me, it's all about just making sure everybody knows the clear, defined roles. And that's whether that's the players, whether that's the 2 men themselves, that they all know and also they have an existing relationship, having both been assistants to Scavani.
That's it, and that's what I would hope. You know, you need to have, unfortunately, you need to have a pecking order. You know, I remember we had an interim time at Derby where we had 2 games, and we had Wayne Rooney, Liam Rosenia, Justin Walker, whoever, I can't remember the other coach, Shane Given was there, but it's like all of them were interim.
He's instantly
but within that interim team, again, Liam will be speaking to one person, Justin speaking to another, Wayne speaking. He don't ever getting the same things. So I think as long as there's the pecking order is established, I'm guessing that's Jez George who spoke to. Maybe?
Yes, yeah.
So Jez is obviously fantastic at running that football.
No, it wasn't. No, it was the chief exec. Sorry, it was Liam.
But that's it. But listen, it's as long as they're all in the same direction. It's just sometimes when you lose a manager that was so successful in a team that never expected to do what they did last year. Sometimes again the thing of putting somebody that you know in charge is good, and other times it might not go well. But the fact they've established a pecking order is really good.
Scully.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Another goal. Don't put me on the spot, man. Who I'm talking. Don't remember what I did yesterday.
I wasn't insulting you there.
You were massively helping me. Fortunately, there's been a goal at Barnet to rescue me. Bart Webber.
Yeah, it's 2-0, 42nd minute. Generous Salford defence handing Charlie Lakin the ball outside the area, and it was a low drive into the bottom left of the net, and it's made it Barnet 2, Salford 0.
Let's go back to John Bennett at the Riverside.
Penalty appeal for Middlesbrough. It was Morgan Whittaker with a brilliant run, lovely skill to dance into the box, and he went down. Looked soft to me, almost a bit of a shoulder barge as he went down. Not too many appeals from the Middlesbrough players. As for the 2 bosses, I think Clem was right. Mostly it is Shaw going to the edge of the box, but we've just seen Chris Cohen going out there as well. It was quite bizarre to see both co-managers out there. It's a bit like Jason Tyndall and Eddie Howe. That's what it reminded me of. Both co-managers right on the edge of the technical area. Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln City 1.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say the interesting point about this game as well is, whilst I speak about obviously they're good at protecting the lead, the other thing is they managed to get themselves promoted with, I think they were something like in the bottom 4 for possession. So playing against a Middlesbrough side that controlled the ball, all of these players would have faced that last year in League One.
Yeah.
So it's something they're used to, playing in transitions and making themselves effective.
And some in Middlesbrough, after the last quarter of last season, have to get used to fixing and getting around.
And the final thing on Lincoln in this part is, there wasn't a massive churn in squad either. They lost a couple and they brought in a couple, and there's not much. So everybody's used to everything.
Yeah, that's it. I think Moylan was a big loss.
Yeah,
he's a top player. Obviously, he's becoming an Ireland international over the summer, and he's gone to Cardiff, who obviously came up with them. But yeah, listen, I think it's the know-how. I think sometimes if you do make too many changes and get too many people that maybe aren't used to the let's call it the Lincoln way, it can change the dynamic too much. But by, I guess, I'm going to say the word sprinkling a few onto the group that can, I guess, take the group in, especially with those experienced ones that they've got there. I think it makes for a real good season.
And just you just reflected on Barnet's second. Just brilliant. Barnet, fantastic. Just what's gone on there. Very close game on. Very close. Dean Brennan is there's a stand just behind the technical area. Make sure you aren't offended by language or have a thing. He is boisterous, shall we say, in that technical area. But did a great job.
Yeah, former teammate of mine. So I know exactly at Luton Town. So I was in the youth team, and then Dean played with the reserves and stuff like that. So I was actually at Barnet a few weeks back. Dino's definitely a special character. But when you know that, you know he's a good person, though. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So whilst his tongue might be a bit sharp, it's for the right reasons. And I think when you're in his team, maybe watching him from the sidelines one thing, but when you're in his group and he might have a go at you, you know it's for the right reasons. And when you're in that change room, he's got his arm around you, and probably put a beer in your hand or something.
Great owner there as well, Mark. I don't know if you met him. He's called Tony Cleanthus. And he's done very well for himself and all around. He's been at Barnet for ages. He's seen them go out the league. He's nursed them. He's brought them back. I went along to a game last season. I get there and he's not there because he can only spend so much of the time in the country. He's done that kind of well, if you know what I mean. His 85-year-old, 90-year-old mum looked after me for the afternoon. Lovely lady, Mrs. Cleanthus.
Boreham Wood have taken the lead in the National League at Halifax. They came so close to promotion last season, did Boreham Wood. They lead through Matt Rusher's goal there. Half-time whistles starting to go in all of our 3 o'clocks. I think it's already gone at Carrow Road. So let's go to Sahel Sun.
Yeah, half-time Norwich 0, West Brom 0. It's a frustrated Carrow Road at the break. Electric start from the home side. The captain Kenny McLean and Kellen Fisher both going close, denied by some smart goalkeeper from Max O'Leary. And then after that start, it's been a stubborn West Brom team who are holding a Norwich side who at half-time, they're lacking ideas to break down their opponents. Half-time here, Norwich 0, West Brom 0.
Portsmouth will be desperate for the half-time whistle to go. They've had an awful 10 minutes or so. Chris White.
Defensively, they are absolutely all over the place. They are 3-1 down now to Queen's Park Rangers. Chair's got his second of the game, and Bengay, the right back, has made a deep run. He's carried the ball forward. Swanson hasn't gone within the Portsmouth left back. He squared it across the edge of the 6-yard box. Chair's there on his own. He actually scuffs his finish, but it works in his favour because Schmidt, the Portsmouth goalkeeper, isn't anticipating that. And Queen's Park Rangers, ruthless and rampant, and 3-1 up at Frampton Park.
Let's go into League Two, where the half-time whistle has gone at York. Nick Hatton.
York City 0, Bristol Rovers 1 at the break mark. York City dominating the first 30 minutes. Joe Felix, Alex Hunt and Ollie Pearce all going close to breaking the deadlock. 88% possession they had in that first half an hour. But a counter-attack from Bristol Rovers saw them break the deadlock. Run down the left-hand side by Fabrizio Cavan. Ball across, and there was Clinton Muller to fire home from 12 yards out. Cavan almost doubled that advantage just a minute later, but he pushed a good save out of Arthur McNally in the York City goal. The York City fans behind the team, behind the manager in this first half, and they are behind at the break. York City 0, Bristol Rovers 1.
Charlie Cater's got his second of the afternoon for Accrington Stanley, and they've gone from 1-0 down to 2-1 up at home to Colchester. Half-time at the Valley. Charlton are behind. Adam Cottier.
Because Derby lead by 1-0 here after an uncertain start. Derby have defended well. They've looked really efficient going forward. They've scored an excellent goal, netted by Sam Smoddock, showcasing his finishing ability with a low right foot finish after being teed up by a prodded pass from Carlton Morris. Charlton have had 1 or 2 moments where they might have scored. They had a penalty shout to
enjoyed his work. And as Rob said, look, he can only improve off the back of this. You know, the days gone past, there's Mark Perrick upside. So obviously he's there, Guy Harvey's in the glory days and all the real good horses were there. And he was actually a very, very good jump jockey in his day as well. But,
flat.
Yeah, and flat jockey, yeah. Yeah, he found that much easier, I think.
He's so relaxed walking back in, Luke, isn't he? That's exactly what you'd want to see. Second day at school, and Rob said I've had to open him up a bit there, and so popped a question, got up into the red zone, but he hasn't worried at all.
Yeah, Gambling Man, an impressive winner of our finale, which has got the result.
Yeah, had a nice 2-year-old run here yesterday. Angel of Desire got tired in the closing stage. Well bought at 26,000 after the freeze-ups, which is comparatively cheap for one from that particular sale. So Ryan Perrick, I have a good eye for a horse there because they were the same colours yesterday as well. Gambling Man 5-1. Amanda Perrick got Formby. Second, Mr. Whippy, 100-30. And third was Silent Force, PJ McCollum. Several, including Lots Road, just catching the eye as needing the experience a little further down the field.
Okay, well, here is the winning owner, Ryan Perritt, son of Mark and Amanda Perritt. Your first winner, is that right, Ryan?
Yeah, first winner, yeah. It was good.
Just describe what it was like watching Gambling Man do that today.
It was good. I thought he was doing too much early, and then I thought he got there too early, and you know he was good. I think he's a nice horse. Bought him from the breeze ups, and you know all he's done is improve. He's a beautiful horse, and you know hopefully he'll come on from this.
Well, the family have had some very good horses over the years. You go back to Tillerman, Indian Large, even recently Lavender Blue.
Yeah.
Are we talking about a horse that could take you some big days again?
I don't know. Grandpa bought a 10% share in it this morning, so he'll be watching it, be very happy. So he obviously likes him, and I know we like him. But we'll see. We'll see.
Any plans? Any grand plans, or take him home and watch and see?
Well, we were thinking about making a few entries, but we thought just get my maiden one first, and then we'll go from there.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
So Grandpa's feeling pretty happy with himself by 10% on the morning of the day.
That was a good morning's work.
And he made it, yeah. Wonder what the price of that 10% would have been now. Well done to the Parrots with Gambling Night winning our finale, an opportunity for us to reflect on the action we've seen here. And we're very much Hector Crouch's day here, a treble for him, and landing the spoils in the feature race, the Hungerford Stakes on Coppell, who was a decisive winner of the Hungerford today.
Yeah, and Hector's been in decent form. He said just going into it last week, he had a couple of winners for Clive Cox. One of them he dropped the rein and he went and won. The other one at Windsor, he just lost his whip and then caught it back in the air. Comes here, sparkling treble for him this afternoon. But yeah, I think that was pretty decisive to go off on his own and up on the front end.
He's got options, obviously, this horse, because he can go back to 6 furlongs. He's quick enough to do that, I'd say. But this winning over 7 opens a few possibilities for him.
It opens a massive door for him. I don't know. I think the way the race was run, that it actually wasn't really run to suit him. And I think he can be better than that.
If something takes him on and gives him a bit of a lead.
Yeah, I think ideal well. You could have had a bit of cover and then just come through and use that speed that he's got. But he plainly sees out the 7. You don't often see horses that can run in the July Cup and counter along. I said to halfway through the race, this horse is absolutely countering, he's just dossing along. So he could be very, very exciting.
And Hector just
different track.
Next week at York is going to be breathtaking, isn't it? That Juddmonte International, Ombudsman, Gosden versus O'Brien, Constitution River, Balding with Iton. That is one of
Remarkable, isn't it? And it'll be a massive crowd as always.
Didn't you want Frankie to come back, to ride back?
He asked him, didn't he? Yeah, he did ask him.
Well, that's not happening. But as Jason mentioned, every race worth a minimum of £100,000. It means all the handicaps are fiercely competitive, great betting opportunities next week at York, and obviously an opportunity to see some of the very best horses in training. Ombudsman versus Constitution River, Iton in the International. Calpano will be there in the Ultra, Faccio for America, taking on the likes of Asfora and the local Raiders in the Nunthorpe, and the week rounds off with the flagship race of the week, the Sky Bet York Eagle. The festival begins with us on Wednesday at 1:30 on ITV1 and STV. Goes right the way through to Saturday, where we'll have an opening show for you with a live audience on ITV1 and STV at 9:30. That's all the great sport coming your way, because tonight your sporting fixie Speedway return to ITV4 with the final of the showpiece event from the National Speedway Stadium, live from 7 p.m. So I hope you can join us for that, and indeed I hope you can join us tomorrow on Watch the Track for the Sunday series. But that's it for now from Jason, Luke and myself. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Knuckles, stop! Robotnik's stealing the emerald!
What kind of fool do you take me for?
Just look!
Mark, I've learned my lesson. Mountain sugar is too much for one man. It's clear now why God portions it out in those tiny packets, and why he lives on a plantation in Hawaii.
Diorama Rama, my favorite school event, next to hearing test Thursday.
The grapes of wrath? I don't get it. Here's the grapes, and here's the wrath.
Yes, very good, Wrath. Let's see, our foreign exchange student Uter has chosen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But this is just an empty box.
I begged you to look at mine first.
Lisa, here is, as the French say, le fake dilemma. I'll create a diversion and you make the switch. Hey everybody! Whoa! Look at me! I'm over here! Turn this way right now! Hey, it's Mark! Hey, he's doing stuff!
Unlike other toothpastes,
in 2019. Just a shame, a big deduction on the dismount, Christine, don't you think?
Yes, it looks a little bit offline as well.
Again, very well to save it, that's the fight.
But I think she'll be very pleased with that because she's not experienced at this level at all. And thrilled to make the final and then to be able to perform and stay on. There were a couple of deductions, but it's very impressive for her progress.
Yeah, absolutely. First European being final. She's performed being 2 routines out of 2.
Well, 13.433 for Ali Elite of Great Britain. She's in second as it stands.
We're expecting this morning?
Don't know. I knew it would be great crowds, which it has been, and was really excited to hear that home cheer. Knew it would be a little hot, but thankful for like a 10-degree drop from the last couple of days. And yeah, I've just been enjoying controlling races from the front recently. That wasn't exactly the plan, but just felt right and just wanted a smooth transition. Let's not give anyone any stress this morning. Let's just make it a nice morning.
No, we've seen some of that, haven't we, in the other distance races. For you, the confidence coming in with your form here on home soil, I mean, that must give you great excitement for the final. How do you kind of deal with that now coming into championships?
Yeah, I'm starting to embrace it. You know, this year I'm having a really good season. I think that's my 15th race of the year, my 13th win. So the winning streak's been really nice. I want to see if it's possible to win 4 major in the year. I've done Worlds, I've done Commonwealths, Europeans will be next, and last will be World Ultimate. So 1 race at a time. Now it's all about recovery. Get that litre of chocolate milk that I've got wasting in my bag, get in the ice bath, and come back ready for tomorrow.
Well, enjoy that chocolate milk. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks so much, Sarah.
Georgia Hunterbell with all Kerins. So that is tomorrow, that 1500 metres final. The men and the women in the 4x100 metres relay made it through to the finals later. And as I said, the men's 1500 metres final is also this evening. Watch it all on BBC One. Follow it with Alistair Bruce-Ball and Alison Kirbishley here on 5 Live. Earlier in the EFL, Notts County, newly promoted to League One, got a point at home to newly relegated Leicester City, finished 1-1. Here's Martin Patterson.
I'm in my second year, so organically that is where we're at now. The players know Monday morning when they come in, we're at work, trying to get better. I'm trying to get better. And we have an environment that welcomes people that want to come in and get better. And they didn't let the supporters down at all today in terms of effort and in terms of doing the right things. Just didn't quite put the ball in the back of the net enough, which is the hardest thing in football. So I will say I thought the atmosphere was phenomenal. The supporters, the players, you can just see them feeding off one another, and you know that's why my job can sometimes be rewarding when you see a togetherness like we have at this football club.
Thank you.
Cheers.
You played with some good intensity at times. Is it just a case of keeping that up for a longer league? How's that feeling against Leicester City on the opening day? Can you keep that going throughout the season, that feel?
Yes, I hope so. It's a fair question because, you know, organically when a club like Leicester come into town sometimes, but when they come into town, sometimes people give added effort. It's fair to say that. That's not the case with my group. Can we keep it going throughout the season? I'm not a scientist, I don't know. But the intent and the desire will be there to continue that intensity and that quality on the ball because we had so many opportunities to score. That's why I'm disappointed not to win. I really am.
Mane talking to Martin Patton, the atmosphere there was fantastic this afternoon, Curtis Davies.
Yeah, a nice East Midlands derby to start the season with one team having been in the Premier League a couple of years ago and one team having been in the National League not so long ago. So yeah, really good. And listen, for mine, who I spoke to the other day on live on air, and he was very much biting his tongue on the fact that, you know, Jota has gone, big players gone. Have they had quite the replacement that he was after? Maybe not. However, he backs the process of the club being data-led in the way that they do things, and ultimately he backs himself as a coach to make the players that are there better.
Data-led, but also going back to all the discussions we've had throughout the course of the day on budget-wise, they're trying to cut their cloth, aren't they?
They are, and that's the thing. And listen, that's why when he took the job, he would have known what restraints there were, what things he could do. But ultimately, he's gone into the job after obviously the Burton relegation, well, close to relegation, survived on the last day, and then he's taken a job that was expectancy, a bit more expectancy to get promoted. Actually got promoted. And then now he's in this second phase of improving himself. So I think he was really excited at the individual task of trying to prove himself back as a League One manager. But it doesn't come bigger than a Leicester challenge on opening day. And the fact that he's disappointed they haven't won the game shows the character of him and how he sees things with his side.
But they're a big club. Yeah. And what I suppose what that also shows you is what do we hear? It was 17,000, something like that today, and they appreciate it's Leicester, and it has a slight derby feel. I'm not trying to tell people what's a derby and what isn't, but geographically close. So maybe the derby's more Forest than Kent, but you know what I mean. But you look at the size of some other clubs in that division, whether it be, you know, Luton or Bradford or Sheffield Wednesday or, you know, Stockport. They could get that kind of atmosphere for quite a lot of games this season, given the size that they are and the size of clubs that will be coming to them.
That's it, because the following in terms of at home is one thing, but because of their fan base, especially you speak of like the Bradfords and teams like that, they take people on the road as well. So that's what's going to be really important for them. But as long as they're well backed and they've got people following them everywhere, I think Notts County will care what other fans are in there.
But you want that. Yeah, you want that buzz, don't you?
Of course, yeah, 100%. And listen, as you said, we spoke about, they were in the National League not so long ago, still had massive crowds in the National League, and they'll want to keep pushing on and make sure they get it better and hopefully be back in the Championship not so long away.
And aside from Leicester, you could probably put 10 clubs in there who you think might definitely stand a chance of making the playoffs and might even nick second, especially when you're inspired by what happened last season with Lincoln City. I mean, there's a lot in there for me for Defo. Luton, I expect to be there in the mix. Barnsley with Stendhal back there, who got them a promotion from that division back in 2019. Wickham, Michael Duff, you know, they would be looking to sort of get back into the kind of area of a table that they became used to for a few years down there. Huddersfield, definitely. He's an interesting case, Martin Drury, non-league player, Bradford Park Avenue as manager, and then he went all around the development circuit into the sort of backstairs, ended up for a little while at Manchester United, he ended up backstairs at Valencia and things.
You're obsessed with stairs.
Stairs, steps, whatever you want to call them. I just thought I'd sprinkle that in.
Yeah, and he stepped in, didn't he, after Liam Manning left for compassionate reasons, and he stepped in and has been given the opportunity.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And ultimately, with the opportunity, he's run away with it. And I think that's the interesting thing that Clem said is, like, whereas last year, when we speak about, say, the Championship, it was open for the reason of we probably lacked that top end quality. of the division, so it opened it up to more teams to get in there. Whereas the top end quality in League One is there are about 10 teams that really expectant. You know, we think of Plymouth the way they finished the season, missed out the playoffs.
I missed Luton and Stockport.
Yeah, obviously you said Luton, but if the league were 2 or 3 weeks longer, Luton and Plymouth would have been a real ding dong to see probably a playoff final who gets to the championship. So I just think there's a lot of teams that are really strong in there. A lot of teams that have been in the championship. Some obviously have been in the Premier League not too far long ago. Sorry. So yeah, there's some real good teams coming at that level.
Doncaster have equalised at the start of the second half in League One at Mansfield. Jack Senior has got that goal. Mansfield won, Doncaster won. Huge chance for Middlesbrough. They're behind at home to Lincoln. John Bennett.
Yeah, they made a good start though to this second half. Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln City 1. Will Lancashire running through on the right-hand side, forcing another good save from George Wickens. He's had an excellent game. Feels as though Middlesbrough made a tactical switch. It was 4-2-4 the formation in the first half, but they've moved Joseph away from being a striker to the left-hand side, and Castledine is more of a number 10, and already you can see that it's working. Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln City 1.
Back to Ashton Gate. Bristol City down to 10 and a goal down against Millwall. Laura Kenyon.
That's right, Millwall, they did the league double over Bristol City last season. It's a much changed Bristol City side, have brought in some of League One standout performers, have to prove themselves at championship level, and it's looking like a tough ask here. A player down and Millwall just pushing for more. Josh Coburn forcing another close range save. Still it's Bristol City 0. Oh, and Josh Coburn with a header fired into the back post, and that one does indeed find the back of the net to make it Bristol City 0, Millwall 2.
Not a good start then for Bristol City this afternoon. Their city rivals, Bristol Rovers, are a goal up at York in League Two, and they have had an early chance in the second half as well, Nick Hatton.
Yes, cleared off the line. It was a shot from Shaq Ford. It was a good run down the right-hand side by Fabrizio Chiaven. Ball across Shaq Ford from 10 yards out. I think it was Joe Felix at the end who got the blocking about a couple of yards off the line. Bristol Rovers started this second half really well. At the moment, it's York City 0, Bristol Rovers 1.
Stockport have started the second half really well, and they are now 3-0 up at Plymouth. Plymouth 0, Stockport 3. Ryan Glover has got their third. Under new management, marking Jimmy McNulty. Dave Chow on the left. They brought him in from Rochdale. They've gone to a team many fancy to be top or near the top of League One, and what a start for them.
Well, I think we'd fancy them to be in the mix there as well. Just talking about financials, in 5 years at Stockport County, what do you think the owner has invested? Stockport County at the time were in the National League.
A lot.
40 million.
15 million. 50 million he has invested in Stockport County in the past 5 years. So big ambitions. Obviously, you know, as we've seen with some of the clubs that progress quickly, when you have the cash, you can do stuff a lot quicker. You can lay the foundation to put proper, I don't know, scouting in. You've got the decent services, you've got all the proper equipment. It's a heck of an investment and a heck of a lot of faith for a guy that I guess wanted primarily to return something to the community from where he came. So they're ambitious, no doubt, although aware that they can't just keep throwing silly stacks at it.
And you still have to do it well.
You do. That's it. And that's where you speak about the scouting and the recruitment. There's no point of just throwing money at, yeah, he's a good player, he's a good player. Everything has to come together that if you do move on from one manager and you move on to another, you hopefully then have the infrastructure that this manager is going to be of a similar ilk and will be able to adapt to these players, rather than all of a sudden we're going to wipe out 4 or 5 players and then we're going to get another one in. I think the biggest example I can think of at Stockport is the fact that they signed Brad Hills last year on a 5-year deal. We don't see 5-year deals. You just about see 2-year deals in League Two. And in League One, you probably see it more often. You maybe see 3-year deals in League One, maybe. But a 5-year deal for a player, obviously they had a lot of faith in him, but it just shows that the commitment at that club is huge.
And the momentum there, great. And I think probably there are signs that they want to get better at player trading, develop younger players, not necessarily just go out and buy the finished articles. So again, managing the sort of PR front on that the messaging is right and doesn't conflict between what the owner wants and what the manager wants and what the fans think. Bit of a challenge, but what a great start to the season.
Isaac Heath has got Cambridge's third this afternoon. They lead Wigan 3-0. It's his second of the season. Cambridge 3, Wigan 0. Halifax equalised in the National League at home to Boreham Wood. And Bradford have taken the lead at home.
Aim of Lincoln City to making it 2-0. Cross from the right-hand side. Got his head to it, but it was over. He was just outside the 6-yard box. Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln City 1.
Next, the Bet365, Naz Premji.
Stoke City 1, Swansea City 1. Lovely move just a few minutes ago. Elijah Juicy found Zan Popotnik wide, right-hand side, got to the box, and his shot was a bit tame at Johansson, but Swansea getting a little bit closer. Stoke City 1, Swansea City 1.
Goalless when we were last with Sahel Sahi at Carrow Road.
Still the same mark. Norwich 0, West Brom 0. 10 minutes played in the second half, but much better from Norwich at the start of this second half. More urgency, more tempo, and they've just got a corner. A shot from Ben Slimani, ricocheted off a couple of West Brom defenders. A corner to be taken for Norwich. It's Norwich 0, West Brom 0.
Okay. Elsewhere in the Championship, let's go to the Valley. Charlton 0, Derby 1. Adam Cottier.
Charlton's pursuit of an equaliser being led by Carlon Grant, their summer signing. He's moved into a more central position here. He just drove forward into the box and then kind of ran out of ideas, really. Charlton having chances sporadically so far this afternoon. Derby looked physically strong and organised, and that brilliant Smodix goal in the first half still separates the two sides. Charlton 0, Derby 1.
Any changes for Portsmouth in the second half? They started 3-1 down at home to QPR.
Yeah, and an interesting one actually, because Ryan Kavuma McQueen, who might be on a few people's radar, he's 17 years old. He's on loan from Chelsea, made his debut last season against Port Vale in the FA Cup. He's joined Pompey on loan, and he's on at half-time on that left wing. A shot to see, heads wide at the post to centre-half. That was a good chance for Pompey, trailing 3-1.
Harrogate have retaken the lead in the National League at Wealdstone. Wealdstone 1, Harrogate 2, and Boston have doubled their lead at Solihull Moors. They lead by 2-0. Into League One, Barnsley Bromley, Molly Stevens.
Well, club talisman Michael Cheek seems to have arrived on the scene this afternoon. 0-0 here, but he's had a left-footed shot from the left side of the box blocked before a right-footed shot from the left side of the box saved in the centre of the goal by Rogan Ravenhill. Michael Cheek, brilliant for the club last season, but for now, Barnsley 0, Bromley 0.
Leighton Orient Sheffield Wednesday, Hamish Marshall.
1-1. We've only played 6 minutes of the second half. Sheffield Wednesday were out a good 3 minutes before the restart, so Hendrik Pedersen obviously told them he wanted to get on with it, and he's brought on summer signing permanently Louis Barry. He's come on for the second half. No real chances since the break. Leighton Orient 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Goal in the Scottish League Cup, and it's gone the way of Aberdeen at home to Dundee. Kevin Nisbet has got that 6 minutes into the second half at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 1, Dundee 0. Back to League 2 in England. Barnet, Salford, Mark Webber.
Still 2-0, a few minutes in, no changes, half-time. An early flurry of activity for Salford at the start of the half. A couple of corners earned, nothing came of them, but now normal service resumed for the home side as they push forward. Free kick 25 yards down on the right-hand side for Barnet's Kane Smith, and he's just missed it wide, and they're getting their foot back in the game again. At the moment, it's Barnet 2, Salford City 0.
They are celebrating at York City. Nick Hatton.
York City 1, Bristol Rovers. Let's see, first half substitute Alex Newby that has got it run down the right-hand side from Joe's race, and a shot through a crowded penalty area, and there was Newby to fire home from 6 yards out. York City 1, Bristol Rovers 1.
They needed that, Mark Clement, didn't they?
They definitely did. I noticed the cameras focusing in on Scott Lindsay there as well, but the club, needed to take a bit of pressure off themselves, and they've certainly done that. Just for anybody that has just joined us, the manager, Stuart Maynard, who brought them up spectacularly with scenes of the most incredible emotion 3 months ago, sacked and replaced by Scott Lindsay, 1-0 down at Bristol Rovers, and getting that equaliser there.
You don't want to go overboard too soon, but even an opening day defeat can pile it on. Yeah, because it definitely can. I think particularly with clubs that maybe are back managers or put big promise into certain managers. You know, I think even us being at Wolves yesterday, you can sense around that place like that Wolves in the Championship are very expectant. When you went behind, could you feel it around you? 100%. You can hear behind you that they were okay when they were 1-0 up and people were using the ball and kicking the ball.
when they were 2-1 down, get it forward, the old get it forward shout comes from the stand. So again, people only trust the process when you win it.
Yeah.
And that's always the case.
I mean, I think this is a big half hour for Kim Helper, not from a pressure point of view, but if you're going to set the standard and keep the ethos rolling for a successful season, you have to prove with the investment they've had in 8 new players and 3 or 4 of them on the field, that you're not just going to repeat the patterns that dominated the last quarter of last season.
That was a big part of Liverpool. They were excellent against the better teams. They just sometimes couldn't break down these teams that, and with a 1-0 Lincoln are going to sit behind the ball, and do you blame them?
Well, they've been mopping up brilliantly, let me tell you, just watching that.
Grumpy fan in the studio.
I tell you what, as this game goes on, we'll talk about the co-managers for Lincoln City. As this game goes on and the tension mounts, both of them are heading towards the edge of the technical area, shouting the instructions. They've just made a couple of changes as well. Malape is on, Rob Street is on as well. But Lincoln City are looking as dangerous going forward as they were in the first half. Middlesbrough at the other end, creating chances as well. You can't take your eyes off this game. It is end to end. Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln City 1.
An interesting question, I guess, but if they were to do really, really well and their club wanted to come and take them, but what, did they take both of them? Did they
Yeah,
pay?
you would have thought so.
Just like, I just really wonder how that dynamic could work at a different club that wasn't Lincoln City.
Didn't FC United have a joint?
Yeah, they did for a while.
And did one of them?
It was Salford.
Ross,
I'm
yes,
sure
it was. Yeah, I think it was.
on
It
the
was
documentary.
City, you're right. Yeah. Ross County are taking the lead in the Scottish League Cup at Dunfermline. Dunfermline 0, Ross County 1. And listen to this from York, Nick Hatton.
York City 2, Bristol Rovers 1. 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes. New boy, Harry Boys, with a goal. Lovely football from York City. Went from one side to the other. Lovely outside of the foot pass from Ollie Banks to Boys on the edge of the box. Took it first time outside of the left foot and killed it around the goalkeeper, Brad Young. York City have turned this around. York City 2, Bristol Rovers 1.
Tell you what, that is a really good goal, Kurt. He did this, that.
Yeah, he knows where the back of the net is. He's excellent at Southend. Scored and assisted a lot of goals there, and yeah, lovely finish. Just strikes it well, just on the outside of the, call it the paintbrush, just on the outside of the boot, just goes into the bottom right hand corner. And what a way to make your debut.
Fans don't seem too unhappy from
Gateshead lead Woking by a goal to 0 in the National League. Crawley are down to 10 at home to Crewe. Kellen Gordon has been sent off there. Straight red card for violent conduct. And I'm just checking that they are goalless. Yeah, Crawley 0, Crewe 0. But Crawley are down to 10. And Tranmere have doubled their lead at home to Shrewsbury. Charlie Whittaker has got the second goal for Darrell Clark's side. That's his second of the season. Tranmere 2, Shrewsbury 0 to Stoke. That's Premier.
Stoke City 1, Swansea City 1. That saw that Thomas, he was running at the Swansea backline. The defenders backed off. He cut in and he fired a shot which Lawrence Vigo turned behind expertly for a corner. It was a lovely effort, lovely save. Stoke City 1, Swansea City 1.
Aberdeen have quickly got a second in the League Cup at home to Dundee. Mitchie and Tello with that. Aberdeen 2, Dundee 0. Rotherham League 2 have equalised at Cheltenham. Alex Bruce's side level through Gilly Biagu just on the hour mark there. And Hornchurch are now 2-0 up at Barrow. So Hornchurch promoted to the National League. Barrow relegated to the National League. Barrow 0, Hornchurch 2. To the Riverside, John Bennett.
Equaliser for Middlesbrough. It had been coming, and the fans on their feet now cheering another goal for Will Lancashire. They have a new hero, the Borough fans. A shot which came in from inside the box on the left-hand side, and it deflected to Lancashire just a few yards out. That's what Middlesbrough were missing last season, a poacher. He was in the right place, right time to equalise. Middlesbrough 1, Lincoln City 1.
Because I was looking at the video printer.
I was quite
Mark Clements, I wasn't looking at the screen. I was looking at the video printer for the goals. And I thought, what an odd reaction to Hornchurch going 2-0 up at Barrow. And then I realised that Middlesbrough had equalised. I'll get the thoughts of Mark and Curtis on that in just a moment. But there's been another equaliser, and it has come at the Valley. Adam Cottier.
For Charlton Athletic, it's Charlton 1, Derby 1, Lloyd Jones with it. Carlon Grant with a right-footed pass from the left channel, swirling into the penalty area, bending into the path of Jones, who met it with a firm downward header, and the defender levels for Charlton. Charlton 1, Derby 1.
Accrington 2, Colchester 2 now in League 2. Colchester have equalised. Danny Cowley's side there through Rob Hunt. And in some ways, it's a daft thing to say this about Lancashire, but he's a goal scorer, isn't he? And I can remember Shane Gibbon once saying to me when I said a goalkeeper's a good shot stopper, he's like, well, what do you expect him to be? And if you are a striker, you need to be a goal scorer. But he always looks like he's in the right place.
That's it, and that's not coincidence, to be honest. That's just he's in the right place, reacts really well, and just gets his foot on it and taps it in. But I think it was a really big signing, because although last season, obviously, Tommy Conway's an excellent player, Strelec, good player, they were more known for their pressing skills and almost industrious way of getting goals. Did you ever expect one of them to get maybe 20 a season? This night, I do.
Conway got 13 and Whittaker got 14 last season, so they did actually have a couple of people who could put the ball in the net. But it's long been one of my pet hates. If they've got 9 on their back, I'd quite like 20 goals a season.
That's exactly it, and that's what we're saying. The fact that you can share the goals between the team, but I think if you're a team that are at the top of the league or aiming to be there, you want that one guy that's giving you 20 or at least close to a season.
Oh, I was going to say they ought to be 2-1 down, but the offside flag, John Bennett, is probably, well, hasn't saved them because he missed, but they were a bit open there.
Offside, it was almost in slow motion there as one of the Lincoln City players, it was Derrickwa, who had the chance from just outside the 6-yard box, but the flag went up pretty early. All the momentum is with Middlesbrough now. That tactical change made all the difference, moving Joseph out to the left-hand side. Castledine as the number 10. They've been a completely different team in this second half, Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough 1, Lincoln City 1.
So just past the hour mark then, or nearly halfway through the second half in most of our 3 o'clock games, Bristol City 0, Millwall 2, and Bristol City down to 10 in that game as well. Charlton 1, Derby 1, Middlesbrough 1, Lincoln 1. Still goalless between Norwich and West Brom. QPR were a goal down at Portsmouth, but by half-time they were 3-1 up, and that's still the score now. And it's Stoke 1, Swansea 1 in League 1 in the 3 o'clocks. Barnsley 0, Bromley 0, Blackpool 0, Wycombe 1, Bradford 1, Peterborough 0, Burton 0, Stevenage 0, Cambridge 3, Wigan 0. Huddersfield are down 10, but they still lead AFC Wimbledon by 2-0. It's Leyton Orient 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield 1, Doncaster 1, and Plymouth 0, Stockport 3. And in League 2, Accrington 2, Colchester 2, Barnet 2, Salford 0, Cheltenham 1, Rotherham 1, Chesterfield 0, Fleetwood 1, Crawley 0, Crewe 0. Crawley are down to 10, Gillingham 0, Walsall 0, Grimsby 1, Exeter 0, Northampton 0, Swindon 0, Tranmere 2, Shrewsbury 0, and York have turned it around. They were a goal down at half-time at home to Bristol Rovers, but they now lead by 2-1. And you do wonder, don't you, I suppose, Curtis, whether Lincoln are now going to be on the end of an onslaught for the next 25 minutes.
Well, yeah, you'd expect it from Middlesbrough, particularly being at home, but just the way they play in general, you know, they want to dominate the ball, they want to get forward and attack you. So they're going to have to, I'd say, hang on, but, you know, there are going to be transitional opportunities, which they are used to, where they might still have a couple of chances themselves in this game.
You know, in all these discussions that we've had at the top of the table and parking the 3 relegated sides, and we've talked about Middlesbrough, we've talked about Southampton, talked about Norwich. I haven't really talked a lot about Millwall, have we? And yet they were in the playoffs last season.
There were 2 things I made a little note to talk to you about. One is Stoke, and I think we should come to it. They're interesting, but phenomenal. I mean, utterly phenomenal. I think I said to you last season.
They'll be there or thereabouts again.
I think so. You don't think so?
I'm interested to see what happens with Femi Aziz. Okay. Because the player, in my opinion, was obviously wanted by a lot of teams in January last season.
Yeah.
They doubled down and kept him, which ended up helping them get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Are some of those going to come back? That's my big worry for them.
That influential.
I believe so. I think last season, his quality, again, listen, Coburn's obviously a massive factor.
Well, I was about to say, for £5 million.
Yeah.
When you bear in mind the struggles that Middlesbrough had last season, and sold him for £5 million.
Especially when he goes back to his old club and scored 2
All right.
So.
but To the point that Mark made, pound for pound, for me last season, Millwall were my team of the season. I just thought they were extraordinary.
More than Hull City.
It's just this whole conversation is just getting worse and worse. Anyway, Stoke City.
What were you wanting to say about Stoke?
Well, should we be expecting more? 10 years in the Premier League, in the 9 since in the Championship, they finished all of them in the bottom half of the table.
We should always expect more. I think, especially early on, they've been well backed. Obviously, the owners, the family are obviously very backing of their team.
And extraordinarily rich and successful.
Yeah. However, the interesting thing about the window this year is, and we were speaking about earlier, Chappers, is they've signed Ethan Galbraith for £10 million.
Yeah.
Really, in my opinion, statement signing.
Yeah.
They've not backed
the most expensive signing in the Championship this window so far. Hold your horses on that, because as Mark says, he's expected more from Stoke. Timing is everything in this business.
Stoke City 1, Swansea City 2, and it's a beautiful substitution, this. Vitor Matos, he's taken 3 off and brought 3 on. One of them, Adam Eder, his first touch. Josh Tyman crosses the ball in from the left, and Adam Eder with a really smart finish, about 8 yards out, and it's Stoke City 1, Swansea City 2. What are we saying about Stoke, Mark?
But it was Ethan Galbraith and nothing else.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, it's all good to sign the one good player. If there was a glaring hole, like maybe a striker or something, I get it. But for him to go and play in your midfield and have nothing else around it,
Norian.
Bizarre to me. I thought when he signed, there was going to be a floodloads of signing. They might end up spending maybe 20-30 million this summer. It hasn't happened that way, and obviously the fact that it's against his old club today as well, that he's left, they've gone 2-1 down and look like they might be on the way to a defeat at home today.
Josh Griffiths from West Brom, plus Gibril Sumer from Braga, and also Svante Ingelsson from Sheffield.
But with all due respect, in terms of Ethan Galbraith's profile, there was talk about Premier League sides saying
No, I get you.
It wasn't. He was the one that you say he's going to be a game changer to get you towards the top. Let's back it up.
So as strange a move for the player as the club.
Yeah, that's why when I thought he went, I thought there must be almost like there's a blueprint that they've put sold to him.
Yeah.
In order to get him into the building.
Well, funnily enough, they're playing Swansea today, and Galbraith left Swansea, and their manager said, "I'm going to leave him to talk about this transfer and the decision he's made." Far be it for me to say I don't quite understand it.
Kevin Nisbet's got his second of the afternoon, and Aberdeen are now 3-0 up on Dundee. Hartlepool lead Aldershot in the National League by a goal to nil. Cheltenham have retaken the lead at home to Rotherham in League 2. Jake Evans has got that. Wigan have now come from 3-0 down to 2 at Cambridge. Sonny Perkins with the first. 4 minutes later, Akil Higgins. Cambridge 3, Wigan 2. And at Leyton Orient, what has happened here? Hamish Marshall.
Celebrations for the away fans because Leyton Orient net 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Jamal Lowe was held back in the penalty area. The referee awarded a penalty. Lowe stepped up and took it, sent Nathan Baxter the wrong way. That was just a couple of minutes after he forced Baxter into a great save. So Sheffield Wednesday have taken the lead for the second time. Can they hold on? Leyton Orient 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2.
Let's go back to the Valley where they're having another hydration break.
Which is just concluded, Mark. It's Cheltenham 1, Derby 1. I've just checked my weather app, actually, Mark, and it's going to rain in the next hour here. So I'm not sure how much of a necessity the second half one was. It certainly was about 27 degrees in the first half. There's more than 20,000 in here, and both hydration breaks have been roundly booed here by both sets of supporters. It is 1-1.
And let's go back to Fratton Park. Chris Wise.
Nothing particularly fluid here about Pompey's performance. Still trailing Queen's Park Rangers by 3-1, and actually it very nearly was 4 a moment ago. Ilias Chair has already got 2 goals this afternoon. Received the ball after it was worked via a series of passes to him inside the penalty area. Low shot saved by the legs of Nico Schmidt. Pompey 1, Queen's Park Rangers 3.
Burton have taken the lead in League 1 at home to Stevenage. Jack Armour with that. There's 15 minutes to go there, so Gary Bowyer's side are ahead. Interesting introduction to management for Colin Kazim Richards at Crawley. They're now down to 9. but a second player sent off for violent conduct. They're still goalless at home to Crewe, and I think there may have been a goal at Oakwell, Molly Stevens.
History at Oakwell. Victor Adebayojo scores Bromley's first goal in the third tier with his first touch. The new signing from Mansfield enters the field of play and changes things here massively. Barnsley have been on top for large parts of this game. Bromley with flashes in front of goal, but my word have they made that count. Adebayojo with the goal. Barnsley 0, Bromley 1.
Come back to Bromley in just a moment. Bradford have got a second. They've They've scored through Nick Powell at home to Peterborough. They aren't good on the opening day of the season, Bradford. They've lost just one of their last 10 on the opening day. A lot of people tipping Norwich as dark horses this season. So, Sahel Sahi.
And they're behind at home to West Brom. Norwich 0, West Brom 1. The first time West Brom have entered Norwich's penalty area in this second half. Across from the left-hand side, and Hegerberg was there at the far post. It came off his chest. Some of the Norwich players are claiming it came off his hand, but the goal stands. Norwich 0, West Brom 1.
But that is what we talked about. That is what we talked about West Brom as well, Curtis. There is a penalty. We'll go there in shortly, but that is what we talked about with West Brom.
Yep, and there's a little bit of know-how that, again, Jake Morrison went in there. He didn't necessarily have a philosophy or the way he wanted to do things necessarily. He just wanted to win games of football. And ultimately, he started this year. Norwich have obviously had decent spells of the game. However, West Brom are 1-1.
Right, penalty for Bristol Rovers then, Nick Hatton.
Yeah, with still some debate as to what it was given for. Balling from the left-hand side. It looked like it was a good cleared header at the far post. Referee's pointed to the spot. It's going to be Tommy Lee, the Bristol Rovers substitute, who is going to take this up against Alfie McNally in the York City goal. The referee just making sure there's no encroachment. Blows his whistle. Tommy Lee moves to his right-hand side, comes up the steps, so right-footed. Saves the goalkeeper the wrong way, fires down the right-hand side. Goalkeeper went to his right, and it is York City 2, Bristol Rovers 2.
There was a push, wasn't there? There was a push.
Yeah, like, that's what I was just watching it and just there was a slight shove, and just as you were about to head the ball as an attacking player, to get that slight shove in the back, yeah, definitely, like I say, I think it was a penalty.
Okay, so they are level at 2-2.
I'm laughing because you mentioned Crowley and the two standings off. And the second one was Malcolm Ibiowe. Yep. And I thought, oh, Mark's going to ask me for a few player names from the Lord. I didn't start putting down because I think he could get rehabilitated. Yep. Had a tough time. Now, I remember coming to Derby, and I think you were there, and I watched training, and Wayne pulled me to one side and went, I've been watching him. I think he's got great promise and stuff like that. So there we are. My tip as a potential League Two player to watch gets woofed off for foul play in his League Two.
So how's he dropped then?
He's had a few issues off the pitch, a few health issues, let's just say. But he wants it. He wants to get back in. He's gone with a manager in Colin Kazim-Richards, who is a teammate of ours that knows him well, will know how to look after him and help him.
He went to Palace, Mark.
Yeah, went to Palace from Derby, and then obviously he's had a few moves since then. But yeah, I think this is the right market for him now in terms of to get himself back on his feet, shall we say. Yeah. I think there's still a player in there. He's still only 23 years old, still a lot of potential in him, and can still come again.
More but explosive.
Oh, explosive. I think at that level, again, his actual ability to, which we don't see a lot when we see wingers nowadays, to take on a man and to do that. I think he's got that in abundance. So I look forward to watching that this season once he's back from
Barrow pulled on back in the National League at home to Hornchurch. Barrow won Hornchurch 2, and Dunfermline have equalised in the Scottish League Cup at home to Ross County. Dunfermline won, Ross County won. Back to John Bennett and Middlesbrough.
Just as he predicted, it's all Middlesbrough since the equaliser. Middlesbrough 1, Lincoln City 1. Morgan Whittaker should have done better with a header inside the penalty area, not far out the 6-yard box, but he headed well wide, and it shows the strength of their squad. Sarmiento, Bert Harris, McGree and Arston all on, and they've all made a good impact since coming on as well. Lincoln City under massive pressure. Middlesbrough 1, Lincoln City 1.
I think it may have been Harry Boyes who gave the penalty away for York. So how has he responded, Nick?
He gets made up for it, Mark, by putting York City back ahead. York City 3, Bristol Rovers 2. This game is absolutely fantastic at the moment. York City patient in their build-up It was Ollie Banks again with the ball to the far post, headed back across, and there was Boys who had all the time in the world to knock home from 2 yards out. York City 3, Bristol Rovers 2.
What I quite like after scoring that goal, Curtis, is he's got round some of his teammates, wagging his fingers if I come on now, concentrate, let's not give eyes. Hang on, mate, it was you that pushed it.
Yeah, well, at least listen, it's his league debut for the club, and to have scored one is one thing, but then to give away the penalty could easily get your head down. No, I just felt like I had to get a goal back and put us back in the league.
Do you know what? I mean, they had that lovely day when they won the promotion, but it's so lovely after some of the struggles that football club has had over the last 20 years in dropping out of the league and coming back again, and previous owners and.
And also, in all the talk about Scott Lindsay and stuff, their goal scorers this Saturday. So Harry Boyes was at Southend in the National League. Alex Hebe has been at Altrincham. He's been at Barrow. He's also, it's National League players coming up who are scoring the goals for.
And there's what we spoke about earlier, that difference between League Two and the National League. We've just seen that this is a team that we're predicting for promotion in Bristol Rovers.
Yeah.
They've come in and they've managed to score the goals against them.
In the National League, Kidderminster have taken the lead at home to Eastleigh, and Huddersfield, despite being down to 10 since 10 minutes to go in the first half, have now gone 3-0 at home to AFC Wimbledon. Bojan Radlovic has got that. Huddersfield 3, AFC Wimbledon 0. Sorry, Mark.
No, all I was going to say was, I don't think we have ever been questioning Scott Lindsay. It's just the fact that he's become a bit of a fall guy of the sacking of a very popular manager.
Yeah, Plymouth have pulled on back at home to Stockport. You wonder whether that's too little too late with 11 minutes to go, but Xavier Amici has got that. Plymouth 1, Stockport 3. We will go to Charlton. Adam Cottier.
Charlton 1, Derby 1. Notable openings have been limited in this game apart from the goals, but Derby have just produced their best move of the second half. Fluid movement down the right-hand side, a neat flick from Bobby Clark in the build-up. Oscar Fraulau, the ball pinning up off the, bouncing up off the turf, and he hit it left-footed, and it was well saved by Will Mannion in the Charlton goal. Charlton 1, Derby 1.
York have now taken Harry Boyes off with them 3-2 up with 10 minutes ago. 2 goals scored for him this afternoon. Let's remind you the scores in the Championship though. Bristol City down to 10 and 2-0 down at home to Millwall. Still Charlton 1, Derby 1 as we're hearing from Adam. And Middlesbrough 1, Lincoln 1. Norwich are behind at Carrow Road to West Brom. Portsmouth behind at Fratton Park to QPR, and Stoke behind at home to Swansea by 2-1. In League One, with about 10 minutes to go in the majority of these games, Bromley lead at Barnsley by 1-0. Wycombe are a goal up at Blackpool. Bradford 2, Peterborough 0. Burton 1, Stevenage 0. Cambridge 3, Wigan 2. Cambridge have been 3-0 up in that game. Huddersfield 3, AFC Wimbledon 0. Leyton Orient 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Mansfield 2, Doncaster 1. And Plymouth 1, Stockport 3. There's a goal somewhere. Whoever's got it, just come in. Go on.
2-1 to Charlton, Mark.
Right.
Tyrese Campbell with it. They look like the move had gone, but Campbell kept it alive, and on his left foot finishes with a sublime shot into the far corner, really firm and powerful. More than 20,000 Charlton fans here today, and they are partying now. Their side have turned it around. Tyrese Campbell with a left foot shot. Charlton 2, Derby 1.
And let me give you the League 2 scores got there in the end. Accrington 2, Colchester 2, Barnet 2, Salford 0. Cheltenham 2, Rotherham 1. Chesterfield 0, Fleetwood 1. Crawley are down to 9, but goalless at home with Crewe. Gillingham 0, Walsall 0. Grimsby 1, Exeter 0. Northampton 0, Swindon 0. Tranmere 2, Shrewsbury 0. York 3, Bristol Rovers 2. And in amongst all of this, and we took so many different clubs here, Bromley are a goal up, Mark, at Barnsley.
Spectacular. I mean, just what has happened there, has been quite extraordinary the last few years. Very ambitious owner of that football club. I worry a little bit about over-creating capacity down there. They've really developed that ground. They put lovely facilities in, 24/7 places they can rent out to bring revenue in, but I have a worry about growing the facility too quick for the fan base, because then for me, you can sap the atmosphere on game day sometimes. But and what a splendid fella as well. He's, in Andy Woodburn, the manager.
Yeah. What is it? Whenever you get when he's in here, be it anything he does, it just speaks really well. Very straightforward, very realistic.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of coupling with the club. You know, the club.
But they play to their strengths.
Yeah, exactly that. And when we talk about modern game and philosophies and all that, just win a game of football.
Yeah.
Just win a game of football. And I think even, you know, both him and Paul Warne last year, in terms of two managers that got promoted out of that league. I know Paul Warne from face value, from being there with him at Derby. He can play a certain way in one game, and then if this other game means I totally change the whole team and do everything that way, he'll do it. And I think that's the best way to be in those divisions, because ultimately you're always going to face different challenges.
Should Paul Warne have more respect? 5 promotions for a 51-year-old or something who started his career a little bit later, stumbled into it by accident.
Massive.
It seems incredible.
Yeah.
Three clubs as well, so not a flash in the pan.
And that's a big reason why MK Dons are my dark horse for League One. Obviously, they've got a big budget. However, you know, having bounced up from League Two, it's not always easy to go again.
Blackpool have equalised at home to Wickham. Finlay Munro with that goal. He's on loan at Blackpool from Middlesbrough. And speaking of which, they've got away with one of the home side, John Bennett.
Oh, Lincoln thought they'd won it with just 7 minutes to go. Middlesbrough 1, Lincoln City 1. The sub on Lafay at the back post, headed across goal, and he had a diving header at the back post. I've just seen a replay. He does look just offside. The flag was up, to be fair to the assistant referee, very, very early. There weren't too many celebrations. Middlesbrough on the attack now. They've been the better side, but Lincoln looked dangerous on the break. They might have a chance here on the break with a Lafay. He's taken towards the edge of the pitch. It is Middlesbrough 1, Lincoln City 1.
Looks like it's over for Peterborough this afternoon. They're 2-0 down at Bradford, and they are now down to 10. David Okagbue has been sent off there for Luke Williams' side. And with 10 minutes to go at Gillingham, Walsall have taken the lead. Lee Grant now in charge of Walsall. They beat Bristol City in the League Cup last week. They now lead at Gillingham. Boreham Wood look like they're going to get all 3 points at Halifax in the National League. Halifax 1, Boreham Wood 3. Anything catching your eye, Curtis, at the moment?
No.
Okay, well, that's not massively helpful.
Everything's all over the shop. Just watching that goal back. Sorry, the Lincoln goal that was disallowed. The linesman makes a really good decision. It's with no VAR, big decision to make late on in the game, but absolutely got it spotted.
Okay, well, if there's nothing for you to talk about, a goal at Carrow Road has rescued you here. Sahel Sai.
A second for West Brom. Norwich 0, West Brom 2. A kick from the goalkeeper over the halfway line, picked up by young Jimmy J. Morgan, making his league debut for West Brom. Jinked his way into the penalty area, and a lovely right-footed finish, just right off the penalty spot. Football, it's a funny old game. West Brom were not in this game at all until they scored the first, and they've been the better side since. Norwich 0, West Brom 2.
Signed him from Peterborough. Is he the next one off the Peterborough production line here to be successful elsewhere?
Jimmy,
he's from Chelsea.
Yeah, but he was at Peterborough last season.
Was he on loan?
Yeah, I think he's only on loan.
Oh, was he on loan?
He scored he scored two against Rotherham as well in the cup. So
last week,
obviously for a young lad to go straight into the Championship and then.
So is he on loan at West Brom, or did they buy him?
I thought
they bought him. They bought him. So he's on loan at. We'll get there in the end.
Yeah.
He's on loan at Peterborough. He went back. They bought him.
There we go. We got there.
Good. You're meant to.
Either way, he's a West Brom player. I just keep my eye on where they are, not their contract status.
Right, but he is another reason why they have the hope that they do, West Brom, Mark.
Well, again, let's not pile too much pressure on, because I think with Isaac Price last season, who started quite well, we all sort of waited in there and went, oh, great. I mean, it's a start, isn't it? It's a fantastic start, but you know how I feel about West Brom. The only thing that sometimes gets me is when the development coach gets elevated, does a good job, caretake, and then they give him the job, and then something goes wrong, and everything they've worked towards for the last half a decade just goes belly up. And some of these guys are not necessarily looking for the senior job. They get coaxed out of them. Oh, you'd be good at, just give it a go. Well, the last 2 times you tried it went well. Before, I don't want his legacy there to be destroyed, is what I'm trying to say.
I think when you spoke about Paul, exact same situation. He was the fitness coach, took over once, then went back to being the fitness coach, took over again, then the third time lucky, took it, got promoted, and the rest is history.
Late goal for Ross County in the Scottish League Cup. They now lead at Dunfermline by 2-1. Middlesbrough have hit the bar. John Bennett.
It's still 1-1. Will Lancashire talked about earlier in the studio what a natural striker he is. This would have been a brilliant finish. It landed at his feet after a goalmouth scramble, and somehow he got his left foot to it, and it looks as though it was going in. Then it just hit the post. Brilliant effort from Will Lancashire. So close with 3 minutes to go to giving Middlesbrough what would have been a winner. Middlesbrough 1, Lincoln City 1.
West Brom paid Chelsea under-21s £4 million for Jimmy J Morgan on the 18th of June.
Thank you
for the completed position.
Just to get every bit of detail out there, and we've managed to rescue that somehow. Bristol City 0, Millwall 2 as we approach the closing stages in the Championship, and Bristol City down to 10. Charlton 2, Derby 1, Middlesbrough 1, Lincoln 1, Norwich 0, West Brom 2, Portsmouth 1, QPR 3, Stoke 1, Swansea 2. Let's go to Fratton Park. Any sign of Portsmouth getting back into this? Chris Wise.
Very, very little. I mean, we're a little bit behind some of the other games, so we've still got 7 minutes of the 90 to play, but it's tough to see where the 2 Pompey goals that they need are going to come from. And actually, QPR just had a giant chance, another one to make it 4. Harvey Bale inviting ball from the left, the sub Alfie Lloyd lunging, he just couldn't quite get a touch on it, any touch, and it would have gone into the net. Pompey 1, QPR 3.
Goal back for Norwich, Sahel.
It's not over yet. Norwich 1, West Brom 2. In the 90th minute, it's Fitzcoran who's put Norwich back in the game. It was a cross from the left-hand side. Fitzcoran just there, safe from the West Brom goalkeeper. And Fitzcoran was there 4 yards away to poke home. Norwich 1, West Brom 2. Just waiting for the 4th official to tell us how many minutes of stoppage time we are to play. But it's Norwich 1, West Brom 2, Mark.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Let's go to the Valley, shall we? Can Derby get an equaliser here? They're 2-1 down to Charlton. Adam Cottier.
They've made a triple substitution here, Mark, but they haven't fashioned too many openings in this second half. They had just the one from Oscar Fraulau. It was well saved. And then Charlton picked their moment to score. What a brilliant contribution from Charlton's substitute, Miles Leyburn, by the way, in the build-up to Tyrese Campbell's goal. A really powerful run, and the ball broke to Campbell, and his finish was so decisive, so good. And Charlton are heading for victory here, 2-1 up.
No doubt that Millwall are heading for victory at Bristol City. Laura Kenyon.
Well, remarkably, it's still Bristol City 0, Millwall 2. New boss Michael Skubala doing well to stem the flow of relentless Millwall chances by making multiple changes for the home side. His side down to 10 men, a 2-goal deficit. Kyrell Lisby found the back of the net for Millwall just now, a flag straight up for offside though, and the floodgates, I guess, could still open in this 5 minutes added on, but for now it's Bristol City 0, Millwall 2.
Stevenage have equalised at Burton in League One, and there's been a late goal at the Riverside. John Bennett.
And it's the new Middlesbrough hero again. Will Lancashire has won it for Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough 2, Lincoln City 1. This was all about Riley McGree. Brilliant run, hugging the goal line on the right-hand side. Side foot pass to Will Lancashire, just a couple of yards out. Poacher's finish yet again from the former Spurs man. And Middlesbrough right at the end have won it. You have to feel for Lincoln City, who came so close to a point in their first game as a second-tier club for 65 years. But it's Middlesbrough 2, Lincoln City 1.
Do you know what, John? That is such a clever finish, because he's virtually gone past the near post as he touches it.
And he's such a natural striker. He's missed a few chances in this game, but the 2 chances he has taken, they are poacher finishes. And I said it earlier in this game, that is what these fans were crying out for last season. Someone who can take chances like that. What a start he has made to his Middlesbrough career. 3 goals in 2 games.
Do you think Middlesbrough 2 relying on Will Lancashire?
Salford are a fellow promotion hopeful in Barnet this afternoon, but they've had a miserable afternoon, Mark Webber.
They have 85 minutes in. It's Barnet 3, Salford City 0. Kabongo Jishmango given the space to shoot low and trickled into the net, into the left. Any further thoughts of Paul Scholes, the Salford technical director, sitting behind me? I think they need a few more signings. 3-0.
Sighs of relief, I would imagine, in the York City boardroom this afternoon. Nick Hatton.
Yes, very much so. York City turning this one around. York City 3, Bristol Rovers 2. All the talk beforehand, of course, Stuart Maynard being sacked 3 months after getting the side up. Scott Lindsay, the man that's come in, and he's done 3 points in their opening game. But one down at the break, very much against the run of play. Clinton Mola from 12 yards out on the half-hour mark. York City turned it around though. 2 goals in 3 minutes. Alex Stevie from 6 yards out equalising things. Harry Boys made it 2-1 just 3 minutes later. Lovely finish from 12 yards out. From hero to villain though, as he gave away the penalty which Tommy Lee dispatched with just 12 minutes to go. But there was Boys at the far post to give York City the lead after with 10 minutes left. So very much a well-deserved victory for York City. The fans behind the players and the manager from the off this afternoon. It's finished York City 3, Bristol Rovers 2.
Forest Green Rovers have got a second at Worthing in the National League. They now lead by 2 goals to 1. Walsall have got a second at Gillingham in League 2. James Connolly with that goal for League Rank side. So Gillingham 0, Walsall 2. And there's been another red card in the game between Crawley and Crewe, although this time it's come for Crewe. Mickey Demetriou has been sent off. So Crawley have 9, Crewe have 10. It's still goalless. Another goal at Barnet. Mark.
Barnet 3, Salford 1. The comeback is on 89th minute. Adebola Alolo rising high in the area to head home. Surely a consolation. Barnet 3, Salford 1.
Ross County have won at Dunfermline in the Scottish League Cup by 2 goals to 1. Cambridge have held on to beat Wigan in League 1 by 3 goals to 2. Mansfield have beaten Doncaster 2-1. Huddersfield 3, AFC Wimbledon 0 is another full-time score in League 2. Grimsby have beaten Exeter. Northampton Swindon has finished goalless. Darrell Clark at Tranmere is off to a winning start. They've beaten Shrewsbury by 2 goals to 0. Let's head back to Middlesbrough, where I'd imagine the full-time whistle is about to go, John Bennett.
94 minutes on the clock, and Lincoln City doing everything they can to get an equaliser here. Middlesbrough 2-1 up, but Lincoln, who have been excellent, particularly in the first half, are pushing forward, but on the break now. Middlesbrough have a chance to seal it. It's that man Will Lancashire looking for his hat-trick. Plays it out to the right-hand side. Will Lancashire get it back? He won't. Lincoln City can clear it away. Still we wait for the full-time whistle here. Middlesbrough 2, Lincoln City 1.
Swansea holding on at Stoke. Naz Premji.
Stoke was forming forward. Victor Johansson's going to get this. They're going to launch this forward, and they've gone deeper and deeper. We are in to 4 minutes of added on time, of which we've had 2.5 minutes. Mark it still. Stoke City 1, Swansea City 2.
Final whistle going in games up and down the country in League 1. Burton 1, Stevenage 1 is a full-time. Barrow 1, Hornchurch 2 in the National League. Gateshead have beaten Woking, Southend have beaten Scunthorpe in League 1. Bradford 2, Peterborough 0. Full-time at the Riverside. John Bennett.
Middlesbrough 2, Lincoln City 1. Will Lancashire with 2 goals after his amazing debut in the League Cup against Wrexham. Yet again, he is the hero for Borough, who didn't have it all their own way. Lincoln City started brilliantly in this game. Adam Rich with a goal against his old club in the first half. The second half, Middlesbrough were very, very strong. They made a tactical change. They got the equaliser from Will Lancashire, and then brilliant work from Riley McGree to set up Lancashire right at the end. Relief for the Borough fans. Lincoln City will be disappointed with that. They deserve more from this game. Middlesbrough 2, Lincoln City 1.
Brilliant start for Jimmy McNulty in charge of Stockport. They've won 3-1 at Plymouth this afternoon in League 1. Trickier start for Michael Scabala in charge of Bristol City in the Championship. Laura Kenya.
Very tricky. It's finished Bristol City 0, Millwall 2. The away side just 1 point off automatic promotion last season. Start the season with a comfortable win. Bristol City under new boss Michael Scabala playing the majority of the game with 10 men. Adam Randall showing his second yellow on 36 minutes for a fairly innocuous shirt pull. The opener for Millwall came shortly after. Josh Coburn at close range doubled Millwall's lead, then heading home early in the second half. Couldn't convert. Multiple chances after that, so it finishes here. Bristol City 0, Millwall 2.
Home defeat at Carrow Road as well. Sahil Sahi.
Yeah, it's ended Norwich 1, West Brom 2. West Brom then with a smash and grab of the highest order, second best for 75 minutes, and then a raid into the Norwich penalty area, which ended with Hegerberg converted a Jay Morgan cross. Then the newly signed Jay Morgan, he doubled the lead with a mazy run, which ended with a fine finish with 3 minutes to play. Quick scorer did pull a goal back for Norwich in the 90th minute, but that proved to be nothing more than a consolation. Full-time here at Carrow Road. Norwich 1, West Brom Albion 2.
Another side suffering a home defeat, Stoke. Naz Premji.
Stoke City 1, Swansea City 2. The Welsh side with a come-from-behind win on the opening day. Eric Bocat gave Stoke the lead after a good cutback from Thomas Rigo. The visitors level after a good move involving Marco Stamanic and Musa Yao. Yao's cross
flicked on by Watley, and Joseph Opoku finished well from the right-hand side. The winner came from some Adam Eder. His first touch from a smart cross from Josh Timon from the left. He put the ball in the back of the net. Stoke pushed. Vitor Massos' side held on, and home boos on the opening day at the final whistle. Stoke City 1, Swansea City 2.
Aberdeen have beaten Dundee 3-0 in the Scottish League Cup. Other full times coming in: Accrington 2, Colchester 2 in League 2. Harrogate have beaten Wilson 3-1 in the National League, and Fleetwood have won at Chesterfield in League 2 as well. So Chesterfield losing for the first time in 6 seasons on the opening day of the season. Derby looking for an equaliser at the Valley. Adam Cottier.
Well, they've got their goalkeeper Zetterstrom up for a corner, but they can't make anything of it. There's a few squabbles going on out on the field. Charlton heading for victory after that Tyrese Campbell goal with 10 minutes of normal time to play. We're playing 8 added, and we're a minute away from the end of those. It's 2-1 Charlton.
Blackpool 1, Wycombe 1 in League 1. Carlisle have got a late second half stoppage time equaliser in the National League at Yeovil. It's a heck of a journey, so those Carlisle fans will be glad they've stayed right till the very end. Yeovil 1, Carlisle 1. Boreham Wood have beaten Halifax by 3-1. It's going to be very difficult for Portsmouth to get anything out of their game at QPR, Chris Wise.
Yeah, 3 minutes into the 6th of stoppage time and still 3-1 down to Queen's Park Rangers. Bit of huff and puff from the home team in the last couple of minutes. Josh Murphy off the bench has flashed one across goal, nobody on the end of it, and the frustration rippling around Fratton Park right now. 3-1 Queen's Park Rangers lead.
Full-time whistles going up and down the country, just waiting for the last few to go. Sports Report will have all the results and all the reaction. In League 1, it has finished Blackpool 1, Wycombe 1, Bradford 2, Peterborough 0, Burton 1, Stevenage 1, Cambridge 3, Wigan 2, Huddersfield 3, AFC Wimbledon 0, Mansfield 2, Doncaster 1,